What's up, guys? Moderate Mods, and thanks for checking out this video. To all my guys that have been subscribers and have seen what I've done to the 200, you guys known that I did the splitter a while back. So the contour on the 200 is a little bit aggressive. It's really curvy, and the splitter just didn't want to stay firm and straight. So I went ahead and I picked two sets of these babies up right here, a long set and a shorter set. I'll explain what they are and the lengths they are and how to install these splitter support bars. And if you guys are noticing that the front bumper is off, I'm doing that on my 200 just because it's a lot more simple, and I'll be able to get in there and show you exactly how to do these so you guys can see what the steps are and what the process is to really do these. So you're gonna need a drill, guys, and you're gonna need some serious attention to detail. Make sure that these things are even so they look really good, but you're not gonna need a lot of money. These are really cheap, and let's get right into the video, guys. All right, guys, so coming over to the bars here, I have these two. So these two are 7 to 13 inch. I picked these up off Amazon for, I think it was about 15 bucks. Very cheap. They are adjustable. You twist them, and I'll show you how to adjust them and whatnot. And coming over to these ones are 3 inch. I picked these up a while back. Jumping into this, I didn't really know what to buy, so I just bought the first ones I seen. Amateur mistake for sure. These are 3 inch. But I'm still going to try to implement these into the middle. Maybe not so much for support, more or less just that look kind of. But these are 3 inch, and I picked these up for about 10 bucks or so as well. And both off Amazon, and they both have identical color. So they're going to do great with the blue accent that I'm doing on the 200. So those are those. Links are in the description as well. So go ahead and check them out, guys. Okay, so coming to the front end and the reasoning of taking it off the car. So basically, the reason I took it off is because to mount these, you have those twistable bolts on the ends, which I'll show. One's going to go and attach up underneath your splitter, and one's going to go up in here, which is why you're going to need your drill, because you're going to need to drill on both. And I'll show you ways to mask off to make sure you're drilling safely, and it will all look good in the process. But drilling into this is going to allow the screws to go through, and you twist on the nuts to hold it in and hold it up tightly. So it's a pretty simple process. It's just more or less really technical and involved because you want to do it right and you want it to look good on your car. So hopefully these splitters, or these splitter support bars, will make my front end look a little bit better even with all the dingy winter weather we've been having. So let me go ahead and show you what the nuts are going to look like when you unscrew them and show you some ways to prevent any damage while you're drilling. Okay, guys, so here are the actual nuts that I was talking about. They're on both ends. So you're going to drill your hole adequate size enough to push this threaded bolt through, but not too much to where the nut won't fit over and a lot of water will get through. So I'll find the right size and I'll show you what size that is, guys. But here it is. You would unthread that. Okay, push that through, and then on the other end, you would thread that back on tightly. I'll show you the socket as well to use to thread it on. And then you can adjust, by loosening up this bolt here, you can adjust the spin and the angle you want the support bar holding at. But it's a pretty simple project, guys. It's just going to involve the drilling, which is pretty scary for most people. But let's go ahead and get the drilling going. Okay, guys, so now that I'm over here, I wiped down the area slightly just with a little towel and some Windex or whatever, anything just to kind of clean it up a little bit for the tape to stick a little better. But the first thing you want to do is you want to take your bars, you want to map out where you want them. Okay, so once you map out where you want it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put mine right here, the top end. I'm going to get right into the corner over here. And I'm sure there's multiple methods of doing this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill here first, mount that up, and then once I mount that up, I'm going to see where it lines up down here, and I'm going to do the same for that side. Instead of trying to get 2 points right now, because who knows, once I mount it up, I could have been off a little bit and then it would be a whole nother thing. I'm gonna do this part up in here hidden, so I won't really have to mask anything. And then when I do that, I'll be able to see exactly where this will line up, and it should be identical on that side as well. All right, guys, so I went ahead and grabbed a 3/16. So it's pretty much identical. If you have one that's slightly bigger, you could use that. My slightly next up size is a little bit too big. Not too big, but too big for my liking. It would fit through, but I feel like water would get through. So this one is just about identical. I might get a little force back when I'm trying to push through, but I'll just kind of twist it through and it should go in. So again, I'm using a 3/16 drill bit. And these are titanium DeWalt's, and they go through so easily. I've done my spoiler with these bits and everything in between. So no problems there with drilling in the car, damage-wise or trouble-wise. Okay, guys, coming up, I'm going to try to do this with one hand here. But again, just map where you're going to do it. I'm going to go in right above that quarter or corner piece right there. So right about there. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So before you drill, though, because you know you want to get here, you also want to make sure on the back end of your fender, you're not going to run into anything. So let's check that out. All right, guys, so coming to my back end, there's where I'm drilling at. It's going to be right where that gray marking is, actually. So it's kind of cool because I didn't actually put that marking there, but it almost lines up exactly where I'm going to drill, except it's just a little bit down, right below it, maybe about half an inch or so. You can kind of see the contour. So I'm going to be drilling right up in there, which will give me plenty of room to get my socket through and anything else I need to fit in there to do this out. And now you can kind of see as well why I took the front bumper off, just because it would have been tragic to get up in here underneath. You know, it would have been wet and you just would have been almost invisible or halfway impossible to film. So I'm glad I got this off so I can show you guys what it looks like once we drill it through. So let's go ahead and drill it through now. Well, as you've seen, guys, that was a pretty clean hole. Went through nice and easy, and it's practically invisible. I mean, if I was to take these out in a later date, you can't really see on the camera, but there's the hole right there. So you'd have to really know or watch my videos and know if I don't have my splitters in that I got a hole there, or my splitter bars in. But hey, it's going to happen with drilling. That's preferably why I like doing it in an underbody part, especially going into the car. I'm just weird like that. I mean, it freaks me out drilling to begin with, but drilling into your car, like on the front bumper, unless you want something there for a really long time, please just think about your choice before you do it, you know. So let's go ahead and push that bar through, and I'll show you what I mean by tightening it down. All right, guys, so I got my support bar here, and if you don't have a tool like this, this is a socket with a deep, or a socket wrench with a deep socket, 8mm. It's still doable. You could probably use needle nose to twist that bolt on there, but it's just so much easier with that because you can go over it and you won't have any interference because it's a deep socket to begin with. So I'm going to be using that to tighten it down. But now I got my hole drilled. I have my nut off. So we're just going to push this end through that hole there and twist on our nut. Okay, guys, so now I have it twisted on, and as you can see, look at that. It went on real nice. It fit in there great, and now I have free range to play with where I want this thing exactly. So I'm thinking probably somewhere along those lines. That way it's, you know, in line with the there. And it'll actually be supporting it up because Honestly, guys, this splitter right here, I love. Don't mind the chipped up paint. It actually came white, and I painted it quickly in the winter just to make it look nice, but I need to go ahead and retouch it up and actually let it dry for a day or so. But this part right here kind of flops down, and I've tried, screwing it in more, and it really doesn't do much with how much. It's not really heavy, but that weight, that added weight with snow and everything in between actually pulls it down, and the curves in the car don't help at all. So that support bar there is actually going to be a major support for it. But just to show you what it looks like so far with just that one, I love it. It doesn't really have to be straight up or down as long as you're actually getting that torque and pulling it up with that bolt. A lot of people like theirs sideways. A lot of people like theirs up and down. It's just really personal opinion. So whatever you guys like, feel free to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get my lining a little bit more perfect and lay down some tape, and I'll show you guys why I'm doing that. Okay, guys, so I have my tape down over the major part that I'm going to be working on here, but really I'm just going to be drilling right there. So I just went ahead and marked it with a pen, to map it out for me. I also, while I was doing this, before I was marking, I wanted to map out the best angle to have it at, for looks and also support. I didn't want to go too aggressive because it's flat, so that wouldn't just go all the way down. But I didn't want to go like that either because I do actually need some support. So I just went ahead in the middle to kind of pull it up just a little bit there. And I think it'll look great right there. So I'm going to drill right there. But a major thing you guys need to think about while you're doing this is that these flaps here do move. So it doesn't have to be like that. It can angle out however, but you do want to, if you're doing this for actual support, you want to make sure you're angling it a proper amount. If you're not doing it for support, then have at it. Go hard, do whatever you want. But just keep in mind the angle and everything in between. But I'm going to go ahead and drill that part now, guys. So there's my hole, guys. Came out clean. Came out the way I like it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did there. Push it through and then twist on that nut. I'm tell you right now, guys, I already love it. I went ahead and screwed it down, and I can see how it's pulling it up now, and that's awesome. That's going to keep it that straight look all the way across. So this is fantastic. If you see the little air gap in there, that was because I actually had it drilled into my skid plate underneath that I take off to get the front bumper off. But now that I'm here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just drill it straight into the bumper itself so I won't have to deal with that anymore, and it will just tuck it up in there nicely. So that went great, guys. Let me show you up close. Up close, there it is. Flushed in, real nice. I love it. I already love it, guys. So go ahead and just repeat those steps for that side, and then you're good to go. And then I'll be right here with the smaller ones next. Hope all your steps are going to plan, guys. Go ahead and mark out your area and drill through. Just like I did here. I went ahead and did the opposite way. For the smaller ones, I did the bottom first because these are more for appearance now. So I'm just kind of seeing where I like it. And I went with a slight curve. Not too much, but just a little bit. Because I actually don't want to pull this up too much as well. So went ahead, did there. Make your mark. Push that to the side. Make your mark and drill through. Well, there it is, guys. All hemped up and it looks great. It's actually hanging like I wanted it to. It's fully supported up. It's straight all the way across. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Hanging the bars wasn't that bad, was it? I mean, yeah, it took a little bit of time, but they're all hung up. They all look great, and I couldn't be happier. Guys, I could have waited till summer and cleaned up the car a little bit better, but nah, this needed to be done now, and I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to comment. Let me know. Again, just take it slow, take it step by step. It's really not as hard as you may think it is, or your mind may be telling you it is. You got it. Don't worry about it. Tackle this one, guys, and get the results that you want. Again, never forget that anything you're doing, don't do it for anybody else, man. Do it for you, do it for yourself, and make your car, not anybody else's. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and thanks for checking out Modern Mods. Feel free to go through some of the more of the content that I got. A lot of 200 content, but trying to go out there and do more universal content as well for all my guys out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and until the next one, peace.
Yeah. Came in 17. Damn.